My name is Scott, KE4WMF.
KE4WMF. And what is this your personal vehicle or?
Yes, it's a 2017 Volkswagen GTI, known as a Golf GTI elsewhere in the world, and it's got about 178,000 miles on it. It's my daily driver.
178,000 miles, wow. And what radios do you have in it?
I've got an ID-5100, which is my primary radio. It's a dual bander D-Star radio, and an FT-857. I've had that radio for about 15 years. I took it out and replaced it with an FT-891, and I like the 891. It's a great POTA radio especially, but then once I decided to try contesting, I pulled the FT-857 out of retirement and put that back in the car.
Yeah.
The ironic thing about that is the whole time I had it, it was my HF radio, and I never used it for 2-meter VHF or VHF UHF single sideband, and now that's exactly what it's for.
Okay.
There's a GMRS radio in there. We don't talk about that much, but it's there.
Yeah.
And I've got a little, not really a radio per se, but I've got a DV Mega, which is a D-Star access point.
Right.
And so it's got a little UHF transceiver on a mezzanine board.
Okay.
So I kind of don't count it, but it is a transceiver in the car.
All right. Well, I got some pictures of the inside. So are you able to operate while you're driving?
Yes, especially on the dual bander.
Yeah.
But even I was just showing some Boy Scouts that were here. The way my A57 is set up, I can rest my wrist on I've got a desk in the car right now, and I just rest it there.
Yeah.
And I just drive literally eyes front, and I can click, 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 and just count the clicks and know what frequency I'm on.
Yeah.
And when I hear something, I'll call. I hear the POTA activators or whatever, and I'll call out to them and make a contact. And
yeah.
While I'm driving, I'll count on them to do all the logging. I don't log when I drive, but if I hear something interesting, I've got a voice recorder up, it's attached to the sunglass holder, and I'll just turn that on and record the conversation so I can log it later. And I have a few of those I got to catch up on. For example, I worked Italy from I-95 on Wednesday, I think. So I'll get that in the log.
What band? Remember?
I think it was 20 meters.
20 meters. And
because I did it on my ATAS here, and that's.
Oh yeah.
I can't tune 40 on it the way it's set up, so I'm pretty sure that was on 20 meters.
Yeah. Okay. And did you have the Scorpion on the back? Was it?
No, for the trip I was pulling that trailer.
Oh, okay.
And so the hitch was occupied.
Ah, I see. Okay. So that Scorpion, the top hat on there, I don't recall. Is that one? From? What's his name? Ron. Did he make that, or did you make
Ron's
that?
Is slightly smaller. I forget the diameter on his. This hat is made by W8UZZ, and he doesn't have a logically named website, but if you search W8UZZ cap hat, you'll find it.
Yeah, okay.
And that allows me, Ron's cap hat tunes higher frequencies. This one stops at 17 meters, so I lose 10, 12, and 15.
Right.
I don't work those very much anyway. And so 17 meters is the absolute highest frequency, and oddly enough, it'll tune it here on asphalt, but as soon as I get onto concrete, it won't. And that kind of baffles people sometimes, because what you don't think about is on concrete, there's rebar all in it.
Right.
And so the metal on the rebar detunes the antenna because of how low it is to the ground. So.
So this is your exhibition setup. How many antennas do you have on there?
13?
13 of them?
Maybe.
Okay.
No, not 13, 12. Because we joked that if I had 13, we got a guy who's superstitious in the club. So we said if we had 13 antennas, the car would probably have to pitch one through somebody's windshield. So I'm sitting at 12.
Okay. All right. What else can you tell me? Powered. How is it powered? How are your radios powered first?
I've got a lithium-ion battery. In the back, it's actually a LiFePO 4 battery. In the back, it's 100 amp hours.
Yeah.
And it's charged from a DC to DC charger that's connected indirectly to the alternator. So there's a remote relay that triggers. So it only is connected when the car is running, the engine's running, and it will not pull more than 30 amps from the alternator. So it's very safe for the car. And so that way, even if I'm keyed up on multiple transmitters pulling 100 amps from the LiFePO battery, the alternator never sees more than, say, 27 to 30 amps of draw. So very safe. And I've been operating, this is day 2 of Hamcation, and my drive to and from the hotel is not long enough to recharge the battery. It's still at 50% after 2 days of everything in the car running. because it's an exhibition, so everything
Yeah.
is on, and it's
Yeah.
still in good shape.
What kind of computers do you have inside? You have a laptop or?
Yeah, I've got a really cheap laptop. It's got a Celeron. It's barely a step above a Chromebook, so it's just enough to run logging software and something that'll work with FT8. So right now I can't think of those programs.
Yeah,
the one for FT8, yes,
WSJTX,
that one.
Yeah.
And so I just basic stuff. And most of the time I don't have the laptop. I might use a tablet for POTA.
Yeah.
I'm not a total POTA fiend, but POTA is among some of my more favorite activities, so
Right.
I like it.
Yeah.
I use the tablet and a Bluetooth keyboard for that.
You have the antennas for POTA.
Well, oddly enough, this one here I would use for POTA,
Yeah.
but the rest of them, that's all VHF. This is
Yeah.
a contesting setup for roving. It's a rover contest setup.
Yeah.
And then the Scorpion, I use a Scorpion for POTA.
Yeah.
One of these days I'm going to get these, because I put the loop module on the car. I call them modules because all of this is modular, and I can pull it off and put it on and use what I need. And so the loop module, when 6 meters comes to life, I'm going to try to do some POTA activations on 6 meters. And
Yeah, I haven't. I don't recall if people operate parks in the air on VHF or not.
they do. It's just uncommon, and so there's actually an award for 6 meters. I think it's called a 6-pack, and I don't remember the criteria, but you make so many contacts on 6 meters, you get recognized.
Yeah.
And I would chase it one time and then say, "Yay, I did it," and then I'd move on and keep doing the 20 and 40 meters because that's my bread and butter.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything? Did you do any special bonding on your vehicle?
Yes. Well, yes. I can't call it over the top, but the hinges in the hood are bonded. The hinges in the doors used to be bonded, but with the constant opening and closing, they break a lot. And Alan, what's his name?
Yeah.
K0BG.
That's who
He's
it
the big
is.
mobile guy.
Yeah.
He basically says that the vertical surfaces are not as important as the
Right.
horizontal ones.
Right.
So the hood now is bonded, and then the exhaust. The exhaust is actually custom made, and so it has, when the guy made it, I had him weld studs along the way, and so the exhaust is bonded to the body of the car in 4 different places. And so my exhaust is very well under control.
Okay.
And that's it. And then the Scorpion, the trailer hitch is actually, it's connected to the body of the car at 9 points.
Yeah.
And 7 of those points are factory bumper frame points. And so that's a very solid mechanically and electrically. And then whenever I, instead of using a hitch pin, I use a 1/2-inch bolt with a star nut. And so the Scorpion is bonded to that.
Okay.
And I tried putting on more bonding straps to see if it would help, and it doesn't make any difference. One strap is all it took to make everything work right.
Okay. All right. And you said right now the way it's set up, you can't rotate that.
Oh, I can. The trick
Yeah.
is, what my limitation is with this antenna here,
Uh-huh.
if I boom over to the right,
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
impact.
I
So if
see,
I was
yeah.
working a contest, this antenna wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I got here and stopped, I rotated the antenna around. It's hooked up and I can rotate it.
What's that antenna on the very top?
That is called a stressed Moxon. It's by Power Electronics.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people are familiar with the Moxon design, but this one is called a stressed Moxon because it's held together by tension. It's flexed in, and then the tension holds it together.
Yeah.
And then to take it apart, all I have to do is take the tension off of it and pull the ends out, and then I can break it down and store it.
Is that a 6 meter?
6 meters, yes. And it's also highly recommended by rovers because it's resilient. I guess that's the best word to use to describe it, because I've hit 3 tree limbs with it, and the worst one knocked it apart almost.
Yeah.
And then of course I have to go through the hassle of tipping it down to where I can reach it, and then I just reassemble it and then put it back up, and I'm good to go.
Super.
Rovers love them. Rovers who are experienced will say that hitting a tree is not a matter of if, but when.
Oh, yeah.
And I've already hit 3, and I've only had this on the road for 2 weeks. So 3 trees, 2 weeks, not bad.
It's when I get sent down roads by Google Maps, detours.
Google Maps sending me here puts me down a road that's really bad. So you just have to be smarter than the routing
Yeah.
algorithm,
Watch
and I
ahead.
stay on the main. If it looks like a semi will drive down it, then I'm good.
Yeah.
Like this tree here, I had to drive around it by driving on the wrong side to come
Right.
around it.
Right.
At night, I get a little nervous because I can't see them. In the daytime, I can spot that and avoid it.
Okay, tell me about the vehicle. What? It's a Volkswagen.
Yep, it's a GTI. And so this is their hot hatch, as it's known. And Volkswagen didn't invent a hot hatch, but they did make a really good one.
Right.
And then of course they're very tunable. People love them because they're very easy to make into really hot hatches. And so this one's been tuned. It's got like 400 horsepower.
Wow.
I've done
This
a
has
turbo.
400 horse?
Yes, I've done a turbo swap on it.
How
exhaust.
fast you go down the highway? You go 80?
With that?
80?
70. I like to say 70.
Yeah, that's fast enough.
What gas mileage do you get?
I haven't done extended highway testing with it, but my normal daily commute, 25.
25. Oh, that's great. Great for road.
Long
being a
highway, it's
rover.
hard to say because I'm driving faster on the open highway, but I'm also staying. So the higher speeds might bring the fuel mileage down, but the constant speed might bring it up. So I think I might still get 25.
Okay, well, it's very nice to meet you, Scott. And again, your call sign is KE4WMF.
Yep, and I too have a YouTube channel. It's not named this. It's called Stealth GTI. But if you do hashtag KE4WMF, it'll take you right to my playlist. It has ham radio stuff on it.
All right, super. Okay, well, thanks again, Scott.
All right, thanks a lot.
I'll end this video here. And what's the name of your channel again?
Stealth GTI.
All right, everybody.
Although I'm not very stealth anymore.
Okay. Yep, go over to Scott's channel and like, subscribe, and share.